Last night was super exciting. OJ confessed to murder.
Oh my God.
What the fuck was that?
Oh my God.
Was that crazy?
You guys, it was crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like, are people freaking out?
Full disclosure, if you did watch the If I Did It special on Fox last night, where essentially it was OJ Simpson just confessing to murder the entire episode, he was interviewed by a woman named Judith Regan. Judith Regan, as you know, put out At Night She Cries While He Rides His Steed. So if that name sounds familiar.
She loves a bit of controversy.
She does. So when I sold At Night She Cries While He Rides His Steed, and they were going to put it out, I got a phone call that said, "Hey, Judith Regan would like to have lunch with you. Can you fly up to New York? We're going to do this book deal and have lunch." So we went out to lunch. I would say it was on the later side, maybe 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I had some things to do at the office, some contracts and all that other stuff to sign. And I met up with her, and it was this awesome restaurant. There was nobody there except for like the 4 or 5 of us with my agent and all that stuff. And of course, my first question was, So did OJ did it? She was like, right. "Oh yeah, he fucking did it." And she was like, "He admitted it and everything else, whatever." And I was like, "All right, great." I knew about this special that was shot, 10 or 12 years ago. I knew about the book that was supposed to come out because Judith had gotten fired from it. They nixed the special altogether, which is the one you saw last night. They burned all the books. There was like one copy available that ended up going for like $250,000 or $300,000. Online and in some auction, and then they decided to print it later. I don't know if there was a gag order and then it was allowed to be able to be printed. I'm not sure what happened with that, but I know Judith got fired wrongfully and she got a big settlement, which was 8 figures in that settlement. And
is this before Regan Arts?
Yes, this is before she started her own publishing company. She had a non-compete clause in her contract, and then she opened up her own publishing company that is a division of Simon & Schuster, and the rest is history. When I asked her about the O.J. Simpson story at lunch that day, without a doubt, she told me this. She had said he did it, he confessed to doing it, and kind of didn't go into much further detail, not in a sketchy manner, but just it was very matter of factly, like
yes, he did it.
Yes, but as if like but we all know he did it and everything else, and it was like, all right, cool. But the crazy thing is that after watching last night's show, I'm surprised that she just didn't launch into the story, itself, because she loves telling stories. She's old school, like New York. Old school publishing, like you could tell she enjoys having these lunches and dinners and things like this, and knows everybody in the world at this point, essentially. She had a talk show on Fox for many years until this OJ thing happened and she got fired. But it was so matter-of-factly that we just moved on to the next topic, and it was like, all right, cool. Well, when we watched the special last night, I found out why was she had never seen the footage until last night.
Right.
So when they said that at the top of the show, like, "Hey, have you seen this? Or have you gone back and replayed this interview?" She was like, "I haven't seen one single second of this footage," which would be true, because if you're hosting something on Fox or any other channel, you're not sitting in the edits. No. You're not getting any clips for your reel. You're not letting any of that get out. So if something gets buried, that's it. It goes in a vault. And chances are you never see it again unless, it's like a Trump thing where you try to go back and find audio from fucking 15 years. Actually, it was around the same time period as the OJ thing. Mm-hmm. So it is possible to get in there and find this shit. But I found that telling that she hadn't seen it since then, because she probably did that thing, the interview 12 years ago, and then was just like, yeah, all right, cool. Everybody assumes.
Yeah, she hosted it. It's not like she put it together or,
Yeah. So here's what really stirs my curiosity then on this whole thing was, after watching this interview last night, after watching him confess to murder in a very weird and creepy way.
Weird way, but I'll talk about it.
I'm surprised that she did not go into that crazy story where it was just like how manic he was and in all of the chaos to it. But Judith has had a crazy life. I would say similar, female-wise, similar to Quincy Jones, where she literally knows everyone. So I'm sure these stories are a dime a dozen to her, whereas they're not for somebody like me.
Yeah.
So I was super curious, and then after last night, I was like, "Holy fuck! You really could have dropped the hammer in this lunch and really said anything." But again, another day at the JOB for her, whereas you and I sat there last night, dumbfounded, where it was just like, "Holy fuck!"
What?
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of things about OJ, and everyone has. It's to the point now where it's like another OJ thing. Okay, but this is the thing.
This was the last. This is the last piece of it.
It's the last piece. He confesses.
Yes, he
but
confesses to murder
in this really, he thinks, clever way, which is such a symptom, I was telling you, of sociopath, psychopath, where it's like they think they're so smart that they're getting away with it. They think they've got everyone fooled, when in fact, even Judith is sitting there like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
This guy's confessing, and he's doing it in this weird way that he thinks is going to fool everybody or is okay. And I guess like under, double jeopardy, like, yeah, he could confess.
Yeah.
And nothing
as long
would
as
happen
you say
to
the
him.
word hypothetical.
Hypothetical. Why don't you tell me what might have happened on the night of June 12th, 1994?
And it was very difficult for me because it's hypothetical. In the book, the hypothetical is
you park
in the hypothetical in the alley.
Right. You park in the alley.
Yeah. In the hypothetical, I put on cap and gloves.
You didn't even say the word hypothetical.
No, he could
double
confess,
jeopardy,
and they will not be able to try him again. So that's crazy.
Crazy. And watching it last night was, I mean, he went through it step by step with the gloves, with the knife, with the entire
accomplice that he had. What he did with the glove, how he grabbed the knife, him blacking out, not knowing what happened,
waking up and seeing so much blood,
getting rid of the clothes.
Right. And because he even said somebody had to take the clothes. Obviously, that was probably Robert Kardashian with that fucking bag.
Taking off your shoes, your pants, and your shirt and dropping it in a bundle. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And do you remember what happened?
Because what are you going to do with it? Somebody's got to get rid of, as you may have called during the trial, is wear the bloody clothes. So somebody had to get rid of the bloody clothes.
But he kept talking about a guy named Charlie, and there was two different theories on this last night. Mm-hmm. One had said that the Charlie guy was really him, and one of the people on the panel had said that Charlie was really him.
Okay.
And his alter ego, and he's talking as if he were Charlie.
Okay.
The other is, that there possibly was another accomplice with him, which would be hard for me to believe, and I'll tell you why. With that much blood and that crime scene, there would have been another footprint, or unless they were waiting out by the car, I guess. But I don't know. In the
car or something, maybe.
But him describing, O.J. Simpson describing Ron Goldman's karate stance and how he fought at him and what he said to him of like, oh, what do you think, you're going to try to kick my ass?
I got into a karate thing. And I said, well, you think you can kick my ass? And I remember I grabbed a knife. I do remember that portion, taking a knife from Charlie. And to be honest, after that, I don't remember. Except I'm standing there and there's all kind of stuff around and
what kind of stuff?
Blood and stuff around. I hate to say this, but this is hypothetical. I'm sorry. Right. I know we got to back up again.
Right. It's okay. I want to back up.
This is hard.
I know. I want to back up to
try to make people think that I'm.
That's when he grabbed the knife, but it was just like, I mean, it was so
really downplaying too. Like, it was so creepy. The whole interview, he was just like downplaying abuse. Like he was just like, yeah, but everyone besides the couple times that happened, it's like, I'm a really upstanding guy. And, making everything so normal, laughing off like really horrible shit. Like he was yelling at his, ex-wife's grave and like pissed off at her when he saw her dead body like at the wake. Mad at her still. That's not normal. But he like has this way of being like,
well, the end of it,
the
end of it was the most telling part where he said that I felt that Ron and Nicole had killed me. Where it was just like
they took away, however
all of his great life. Yeah.